Big entrance.
What? No,
You open
it's the
Seattle?
terrorist, yo. It's the
Up in Seattle over
terrorist.
here.
Yo, I swear you look like a cool terrorist right now with that damn mask on right now, man.
I fucking hate you guys. No, I just.
No, but no, you just popped up with the middle finger like fuck you, lyrics. Like, cool, no doubt, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I'm glad you knew that it was particularly for you.
Yeah, it was.
I'd
And you know,
shit for you.
I love and hate you for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like I'm
Yo, that seafood plate was good, right? That seafood plate was good, right? In DC, all that food was good, right? Oh man, I can't wait to go back.
You really being an asshole, Eric. You being a real asshole today, sir.
Yo, you started with me, man. I'm just trying to, up you.
You're right. I did start it with you. Hey, I'm gonna continue starting with your ass now. Now you want to? It was shut down. Now you want to keep.
That's sushi. Right? That's sushi. But you had stuff.
Yep, we had the octopus on a bed of eggplant, and then I had rockfish, which is like a local delicacy here. You know, we were eating high on the hog all week. All fucking week.
No, and then you was on that jet ski bus talking about what is it? Right now I'm riding bougie. I'm gonna be bougie today.
I'm gonna do one better. That was just a morsel. Let me tell you something. Who was sitting next to me? The fucking CEO of the bus company.
No, I've seen it. I've seen dude. I've seen a picture of him. Like I think he was asking people questions and stuff in the back. So all right, cool. I'm like
his crew. We chatted it up. Like we fed off ideas. We traded different opinions, things of that nature. It was super dope.
Chicken and beef. I was gonna say that, man. Like you just fucked it up, man. Anyway, happy belated birthday to Steph.
Yeah. Welcome to the 40 Club. Welcome to the 40 Club.
Hey, I'm doing it in style though.
Oh.
No one has had a more grand entrance than myself. I'm just saying. Nah, I appreciate it. They rolled out the red carpet for me though. I'm just saying.
I think Lyrics is frozen again. I think he's frozen again.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, I know he's not, but it's just I just wanted to say it just because.
Nah, man, I just want to get all that cocky shit.
I did that.
No, I want you to get all that cocky bougie shit the fuck about your system so we can start this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, it's my birthday, y'all. I did it bougie. Like, I came to the 40s. I came to the 40 Club bougie. Fuck out of here, man. All right, you got it. Chicken and Beef said vampires don't age. Stop it, famous Ramus.
That's true. I'm actually 150.
Yo, Andrew Solomon, what's going on? Yo, listen,
he's one of the 140 club.
Guys, before we get into the topic of discussion, like I said, I was talking about this situation with Ukraine. For those who don't understand it, like I was saying, like Ukraine wanted the independence. Well, at first Russia was going to give it to them, but then, from my understanding, Ukraine was trying to get down with NATO.
Yeah,
and
that's what it is.
Yeah, they was trying to get down with NATO, and Russia was like, "Oh, why are you trying to get down with?" Nah, son, like we ain't trying to have that, you know. Right. So now it's on. You know what I'm saying? That like I saw some videos from Manosphere Highlights Daily. Shout out to Manosphere Highlights Daily. I saw a video of these guys. Now they're taking arms, like, and I think the men there from age 18 to 60, they're banned from leaving Ukraine. So it's like they're kind of like forcing the people, even the men that don't want to be involved. You know what I'm saying? They're forcing them to pick, to take arms and fight for their country, fight the resistance.
But it's basically Ukraine is using the same tactic that Russia used in World War II. Like people like to give the U.S. Credit for ending World War II, which they did. That's bullshit. They may have did their damage to Japan, but for people that that really study the history. It was Russia that actually ultimately ended World War II. They stopped the Nazis. They were the ones that picked up. They told their citizens. Lenin told their citizens to pick up arms and to fight. So regular citizens of Russia were fighting, the Nazis and their forces, and they were able to push them back. It was so devastating that Russia lost, I think, like 1/5 of their population. So that's like 20%. Yeah. So, and that's why, when people are like, "Oh, I don't understand why Lenin was Man of the Year on the cover of Times in 1945," that was why, because he was able to galvanize his entire country and say, you know what, pick up arms, take whatever you can. Like, if we have to turn these factories into fucking scrap yards to make weapons out of them, that's what we're going to do. We're going to defend our country because we fucking love our country. And that's what happened. But they don't want to let you know about that part of history.
I mean,
but that's
what
there's always bits doing right now.
There's always bits and pieces to the whole story, man. I mean, but I'm gonna let you guys know, my prayers, go out to, the people in Ukraine. But then I seen a video this morning. Shout out to my homegirl, Elaine Da Silva. Elaine, thank you for, sharing the video with us. Now, Ukraine is not letting their African students leave the country.
Yeah.
That's the part that the news media doesn't tell you about. Now you got all these African students or whatever that want to go home. Like they refusing that. The video was talking about, it was like racial discrimination or whatever. I don't really know. I'm not in Ukraine. I really don't know that situation, so I really can't speak too far on it. But my prayers definitely go out to the students as well. And I hope
I'm gonna say this. I always want to dig deeper into the situation. From what it looks like to me, like I said, I think it's the same thing that Russia did in World War II, where they basically, told their people, like, hey, get together and let's fight. And I think it's the same with like Ukraine, because Ukraine is much smaller. I think they're just trying to keep as many people as possible in the country so they can fight Russia. But this is different because they're actually kind of forcing their citizens to be in that position to fight.
Well, I see there's I don't see issues that, because at my point, if you're in the country and you're gonna die, wouldn't you want to fight for what you have and to hold on to it? It makes my sense. Like, I don't see the forcing of it. I'm like, just, you should intrinsically want to protect what's yours. So I don't know. I haven't really seen that in the media, them forcing. So, but maybe I'm not looking in the right news outlet.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, this morning, I saw it on Elaine's story, and I found it kind of crazy. I'm like, well, if this is Ukraine's war, what do these African students that are studying in Ukraine have anything to do with the war? Like, maybe I'm looking at it from the wrong perspective. But like I said, shout out to them. Like, my prayers are definitely with everybody. I hope they can work it out. I definitely hope that these African students could go home to see their families. It's wrong to keep them trapped in there, because, all right, they're there to study, whatever they're studying in that country, but it's not like they're citizens, Ukraine citizens. So why keep them there to fight for a country that they originally don't live for? Yeah, they live in. My personal opinion.
I think they're looking at it from the perspective of, and I'm not saying there may not be a racial component in there. I'm not saying that at all. There could be very much a racial component there as well in certain circumstances. I think it's more of, you came here to our country to study and learn. If you want to continue to, reap, I don't want to say reap the benefits, because that sounds too harsh. But if you want to continue to learn and study in this country and salvage, the resources that we have provided for you, then you need to stay and fight. It's a little on the nose, it's a little like, but they're in war. They're at war. They need every able body they could possibly get. You know?
Yeah, no, you're 100% right, man. You're 100% right. And like I said, I don't want to dwell too much on it. I just wanted to talk real quick while we was waiting for you to come on. But like I said, one more time, thoughts and prayers with everybody. I hope that they can figure everything out. I hope that if there's a war, it goes by as quickly as possible. If not, if they can try to find some type of peaceful resolution to this, then go about it that way. But it seems from what I'm hearing, it seems that they're past peaceful options at the moment. So, you know, like my prayers go to everybody, you know, everybody that's caught in the middle, not these politicians, everybody that's caught in the middle, you know, everybody that, you know, you're forcing people's hands, and that's not cool, man. You know what I mean? So like that, once again, my personal opinion, you know. But guys, let the fuckery commence. Let's get it.
I'm
all right,
of course. I may have to step away for like a minute or two, but yeah, y'all do your thing. I'm sorry. Don't give me a disappointed look.
I mean, y'all the ones that came up with today's topic discussion. So I mean, listen. Anyway, today's topic of discussion here, Randumb Thoughtz, is episode 2-9, the taboo topic of code switching. Now, at first, when I heard about this subject, when we went over this shit, I was like, yo, the fuck is a code switching? But then I did my research, and there are different variants to code switching. There's different meanings. You know, but I think the meaning that you know, I guess, Ed, that maybe you were talking about was dealing with the job plate.
Yeah, it's more. It's
right.
But it's a mix. It's really a mix. I mean, the definition itself, it still says it's the practice of altering between different types of, you know, languages and those variances, and when it comes to conversation. So that changes, like, as we're doing right now. Like, you already would know when you speak with specific people that you're going to talk a certain way, either if that's to be liked by that group, to be to outstand away from like that group, to say, like, again, like, there's a racial component to it, but there's also a cultural and a language, because there's folks who know multiple different languages and say that their parents may speak they speak Spanish, so they're mostly gonna be speaking Spanish with their you know, family. But then if they go to school and they know mostly as speaking English in school, they're gonna speak English when it comes to being in school, as well as in their own set of friends. It might be a mix or a toss or a turn up, but it's very similar to us just having different roles and archetypes. Like, you know, when you at home, or you have, you know, you're the father, or you're the mother, or you're the grandmother, whoever you are there. But then when you go to the job, you might be the boss, the manager, the supervisor. But in this particular case, it comes down to more so our interactions, not only just our titles.
Right. It's almost like the mafioso, like, you know, they code switch as well. You know, they have certain ways that they speak when they're, you know, in dealings with business, when it comes to the more serious stuff, where it's like, you know what to do. You know, they have to change their tone, and, you know, they have to use like nonverbal communication, and sometimes they'll speak Italian or Sicilian or what have you, you know, to get their point across, so they don't incriminate themselves, you know, or any other like faction, you know, similar to we know that. Trust me, we know that. I'm kind of familiar with the whole code switching thing my damn self, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you work with like one set of people, you know, and they go back, like, you know, English and Spanish and stuff like that. And like I said, I'm not that good at Spanish, but I do understand certain words. So, you know, it is what it is. Though. I don't really make too much of a big deal about it. But yeah, like when it's different from when you're at work, and then when you're with your homies or whatever. Sometimes you can get it switched up. Like, you know, like at one time, at one moment you were like, yo, what's good, my nigga? This, that, the third. But then you switch it up and be like, good morning, how are you doing, sir?
Yeah.
yes, it's a beautiful day today, like stuff like that. And you know, I ain't gonna lie, for myself, it took me years to get to that point. You know, because like there was certain times I'm like, yo, what's good, sir? What's up? Like, and then I had to catch myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
because part of it is, again, it's the notion of these cultural thoughts and ideas. And what I mean by that is professionalism is one of them, and it also ties into a lot of stereotypes on folks. And when it comes to certain ways people speak in their speech, which I had to look into it myself, like what I honestly thought in my head, okay, why is there a whole situation of, okay, you know, you sound white, or you speaking white, and then also you're why are you talking ghetto? Like, we have these different ideas and shifts when it comes to, you know, thoughts of speech and conversation, and it's attributed. Again, as I say, it could be a racial thing, because I know mostly when I was thinking of the code switching, there was more so a lot of the racial thing. And like, you look up, there's different definitions of, like you said earlier, that you've seen that it goes deeper into. But one of the taboo parts of code switching and doing that and talking about it is that when it comes to, you know, that racial piece, depending on where you lie on that spectrum, you can't act a certain way around folks of a particular race. So say, like, again, if it's Black, Hispanic, any race that the system would quote unquote right now is calling oppressed, would, if you talk like that around your homies and you like doing business on the phone and you talk in one way, they might be hearing in the background, or your family in the background be like, who are you talking to? Like, why are you talking like that? Like, that's not how you usually talk. Like, what's going on?
I hate that shit, man. Like, yo, like you have to come to. I know you got to use your common sense to come to terms that, like, I might be talking to get a deal or something of that nature, man. Like, talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a certain time when you have to turn it on. You know, because not everybody understands Ebonics or you know, talking ghetto, whatever. I prefer Ebonic. You know, like, you go in a business meeting, like, yo, what's good, my niggas? Nah, nobody trying to hear that.
Dave Chappelle is a great example. You seen that skit?
Wait, what skit is that?
There's a Dave Chappelle skit where that's literally the whole setup of literally the whole idea of code switching, of how if it was like a character, I don't think it was one of his, if keeping it real goes wrong, or it was one of those skits where he's talking about how he would end up talking in the corporate world with folks versus literally how he talks with his homies. And in the corporate world, there'll be, like, in this particular case, white dudes was coming up to him saying, like, yeah, what's going on, brother? Like, like, talking like that, wanting him to respond back that way too. But then he keeps it cordial and professional in the sense, but then in his head, he's like, man, what the is it doing? Like, why is he even trying to approach me this way? But it's just a tale of, to me, where a lot of society and our norms come when it comes to these you know, these ideas and statuses. So it's like, the only way we know how to be professional is what? Like, you see folks that they're wearing a suit, clean cut. You know, mostly you think of corporate and things when you think of professionalism, versus you thinking of folks that might have their hair grown out, whatever race and people that may end up being. They might maybe wear a little bit more comfortable. Like, maybe even this might be, you know, a particular case that can be shown. But there's no individualism in professionalism. There's a clean cut. This is the rule, the set, and the state of how professional is supposed to look. And to a certain extent, I agree with it. But then at the same time, that's where, again, we also lose the sense of, you know, the culture and different respects for other people's cultures. And that's why, for me, it's also a taboo with code switching, because that's what ends up happening, is if you have to keep switching your code to meet other people's demands and their own ideas of, you know, who you are and what they do and how you can get, you know, be provided and get things from them, you have to change yourself up and not always have to be necessarily I see you, brother. What you got? I thought she had. Yeah. I thought she had something.
No, I wasn't to chime in. Like, I think a lot of it has to do with the mask, the personas that we wear. Because a lot of, like you were saying, sometimes it's necessary because we live in a society where there are certain codes in certain parts of the society. Specifically, you're talking about the business thing, but the mask, the persona, which one we decide to take on, because we all have these masks, right? Like we literally, I can literally walk out the door and have a different way of persona of behaving with somebody, my neighbor, for example. But somebody I live with, I'll be completely different and more relaxed in the manner that I speak. But I mean, it falls into a weird place when you start thinking when it's a false mask. You know what I mean? It's false because it's not, because the personas that we have inside are multiple, right? But when it starts becoming you creating that completely just to like pacify somebody or to make yourself feel comfortable in the society, that's when the problem starts to come in place.
Yeah,
that's why
Yes. Now, I'm glad you brought that up because then it makes me think of what a lot of people, especially not only creatives, but just people within life, struggle with the whole idea of the imposter syndrome and how they really feel that the things that they're doing is not really accredited to who they are. Because again, you can have all these different masks and you're doing all of this code switching. To me, it gets to a point where code switching goes, it can go super deep to the point where whatever that base is of who you really are, you start to really figure out and try to ask, like, honestly, who am I really? Because like when I'm at work, I'm this person. When I'm over here, I'm this person. And I'm that person. Like, but ultimately, who am I really? So it starts to make you get into that. Like they have this serious question here, him being extra. But literally, it gets into those points to really ask yourself the whys and why you having to do these things and what Steph said earlier. And that's what I know that's for a case why code switching happens. Most of it is for survival. Because if you want to keep that particular job, you gotta do this. I mean, honestly, with the shots right now, I mean, it's not a form of code switching, but again, if you want to adhere to certain rules and regulations and how things are supposed to be done, you know what you gotta do. As well as maybe even in your relationships. There's a certain code and way things are supposed to go. And if you cross a barrier, you cross a line in a certain way, then I mean, that's just how it ends up going. But I see what you got. Go ahead.
Like cheating, you know what I'm saying? When somebody cheats, you know what I'm saying? That's crossing a certain line, even though it's not code switching. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm beating a dead horse with a stick. Like
that horse is decomposing, my dude. That horse is decomposing. Your bones are showing.
You know what? Then we just go piss on him and beat him again. Fuck it. I guess, like, just say it. Like, anyway, Chicken and Beef said, serious question. Does it count as a code switch when Famous Ramus turns into a bat from his natural state that Count Bushwickula?
No, that's just me being awesome.
Yo, I know. I'm sorry, man. Like, I had to read that.
I don't care.
I had to read it. Good example at lyrics. Yeah, I'm just saying, Steph. Like, come on now. Like, listen, man.
Steph chimed in?
No, Steph said good example. So, like, Steph, come back on the live, man. Like, you wilding, man. Like,
Steph is trying to get back. Yeah, Steph is trying to get back home first.
So yeah, you're right. Yeah. My fault.
Yeah. But again, with the code switching. Ultimately, I mean, another thing I wanted to ask and think about because it's going off the top of my head is, if code switching, its ultimate goal is survival. Outside of that, besides of course comfortability, which that still comes with code switching, what would code switching really be needed for?
I don't want to relax. I'm gonna wild out. Anyway,
are you talking something? You talk.
He's talking Steph. He saw the comment from Steph.
He's like, I'll be back soon. Relax. I'll be back soon. Relax.
So the question you were saying, what was the need for code switching? Like absolutely, like, I mean, I don't know if there's a need, but there's a place for it. I guess in society that we created that need or that place in it, right? Because when things start becoming certain, like institutionalized or like commonplace, people attach themselves to it and it becomes a place. Now, I mean, let's say in a place in our society, we all talk to everybody the same way. let's say we were talking in the way of business, in a business matter, it wouldn't make hold a function, because talking to your parent, like you're business meeting, doesn't really, make sense, right?
Yes.
Like, cause you're talking about, all proper. I mean, in some places probably they choose that, but for me, in my particular situation, I don't talk to my parent like, in the stock man, what yes, ma'am, or something like that. I don't do that. It just doesn't feel comfortable. It's not the way you were brought up, right? We have a certain respect, modicum respect for our parents, but we don't talk to them like if we would talk to our bosses, for example.
You're right.
No, I'm glad you brought that up too, because again, as society continues and as we continue to evolve and grow, etc., a lot of these terms and a lot of these behaviors that we've done have already happened. It's just now we're putting names to them, because ultimately what you just talked about has to do with when we talk about being formal and informal. It's literally, when there's a time that you have to be formal and you have to, depending on whatever the situation is. And then there's times where you're informal, when it's more laid back. Even our definitions, you look up English definitions, there's formal ones and there's informal ways of what these definitions are. So, I mean, code switching is nothing new, but what it's been branded as, again, is like the switches in the conversational piece between, various people in different groups. And then, of course, nowadays, again, it's more seen on the racial aspect, because America, that's one of America's not even darkest secrets anymore. It's been brought to light, but it's just so prevalent. So it always just seeps into everywhere.
Yeah, I think what you're saying. You're saying in terms of making the person, or we see as the controllers or the keys, the gatekeepers, feeling comfortable, because we feel in order to be accepted by them, we need to speak to them in a certain way. That's why you're going for it.
That's what code switching ultimately is. I mean, at least the way that code switching is used more notably to people, because not most people knows. Personally, I don't know 4 to 5 different languages, so then I wouldn't literally go when I'm talking to somebody and somebody speaks better German than when we were speaking Italian. I would switch from Italian going straight into German. Like we don't have the skills, especially here in the US. We don't really value language in that particular case, in the acquisition of learning more languages. But in different places, that's the whole story.
But we're starting to. Because I remember I remember when I was a kid, I always heard that that America was gonna be bilingual. Like I heard this by a couple of teachers and a couple of Spanish kids. They was like, "Yo, watch, one day America is gonna be bilingual. Like it's gonna be English and Spanish." And I took them, like, at first I was like, "Yeah, all right, whatever." But now I'm starting to see slowly but surely, like, yo, it's starting to be like, I kid you not. Now they're trying to put in the schools not only English but Spanish. Like, yo, like Spanish, like as a general language of the United States. Like you have to be bilingual. Like there's some jobs, even like when you go to these job apps, or if, like, you're looking for a job, they look for Spanish, English, and Spanish speaking individuals, and even just like Spanish speaking individuals. Like there's a couple of jobs where it's like, yo, if you can't speak Spanish, don't even try to apply here. Yeah.
I mean, again, honestly, I've seen it. There's a few schools around the US and the nation that are actually what we would call dual immersion. Like, as in literally the school is based in both English, Spanish, or honestly another language of your choosing. And that's how the courses are streamed out, is literally the dual immersion stuff. But again, I get it. It's better late than never. But just imagine if literally we took other languages and learning them seriously like other places do. Because I remember when I got to study abroad and I was in Italy, as well as I went to Switzerland for a while. And I was just surprised about how many different languages were able to be spoken just within one setting. And I'm just like, and it's just like, yo, that's typical. Like we learned 3 languages. Like that's the norm over here. And it's just like, yo, that's crazy, because I know English, a bit of English, and even English is like the hardest language to learn because it's so difficult.
Really?
With all this different changes. Honestly,
I find it the most simplest in terms of business wise. It is the most simplest, I feel, because like I know Spanish and there's some similarities that cross over, but
yeah,
in terms of like the layman similarity, like you could say one thing, but other language you have multiple ways of saying things and addressing things, and you have to understand, like for example, the feminine masculine that comes into place in English, in Spanish, right? Like you have a little bit of that in English, but it's only with I'm addressing somebody directly. But items don't have that feminine masculine like kind of thing going on. So
you know
like
what?
you
Yeah, you know what? Yeah,
And
no,
I
I
just
agree. It
not even
depends. I'll
say
say this. It depends. It depends on your language of origin, because I've heard this
yeah
from other different places. I mean, the reason why it's very at least easier within Spanish is because English is it's a mix of like 5-6 different type of languages, Latin being one of them. So if you have the Latin
words,
roots,
yeah,
so if you have Latin
you have
language
Arabic, the Latin, all these different and words that we don't have, we take them from other places because we don't have the word and we adapt it to our language. But I feel like I feel like the reason why English is used as worldwide as a business language, because it's easier to learn than some language. If we talk about Russian or Japanese, like even with
yes,
Japanese, there's multiple ways to learn that language, and there's like thousands of
no, but hold on.
characters. You know?
yeah, because there's
When it
kanji
comes
and
to
then there's the other
Japanese,
type of setup.
when it comes to Japanese, though, you have to understand there's some words in their language that doesn't have an English meaning to it. It's just an actual
Yeah,
Japanese word, you know, and
it's like a
it can
feeling.
mean, yeah, it can mean something, but it's like they don't have an English word for it. So
Equivalent.
it's like
Yeah.
if it means that, then that's what it is, you know. And I think Japanese, like speaking Japanese, is the most difficult language to learn because I'm currently trying
I
to
think
learn it
so too.
more. Like
I think that people say the largest language is Russian and Japanese, like two of the hardest
no,
languages to learn.
no, for real, for real, Ed, like that shit is hard as fuck to learn, my nigga. Like,
No,
yo,
I'm not
I
saying
try to
I'm not
learn it.
saying it's
It's
I'm not
hard.
saying it's not, but I'm not saying
But
it's
the
not.
interesting about Japanese, a lot of the words are actually Portuguese because people don't know this. Sometimes the missionary Portuguese try to come there. So, for example, the word of bread, it's Portuguese, it's fun, and there's other words like that within their language. So they adapt the words to English as well. A lot of English words like now are like not the traditional words.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Steph,
What's up, Steph?
I know you had a point. I
Hey,
know you
what's
had a
going on?
point with that too, Steph. I wanted you to go ahead and voice that point that you said earlier about switching languages mid conversations a bit, disrespectful.
Oh yeah, I mean, just coming from, and I know Benny had asked me like, is it because I don't understand the language? No, I speak Spanish. I mean, I'm not fluent, but I'm at one point I was like at conversational level, where my Spanish was very good, and I still like because I didn't maintain the practice as much. Like I lost some of I didn't retain all of the language. I'm getting back to that now, but I find it sometimes when you code switch to another language, I feel like in certain contexts it's disrespectful because especially when you know more than one language, particularly English and your maybe your native language or a second language that your family speaks, and that's just coming from like working on the job. And um I've been in situations where it'll be like we'll be speaking English and we'll be having a normal conversation, and then it may be something that they may not like, may not have liked about our interaction, and then they'll say it in their native language or in their second language, and it's like, yo, you assume because I'm black that I don't know that language. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I love
it's
it.
just like, what the fuck?
I love it.
I had a
I
situation.
was
I love that shit.
I see what you're saying, but I see what you're saying. I can understand in terms of in that regards. But for example, if I'm talking to you, right, and then someone comes in and say, "What's up?" and I say in Spanish, right, I don't see that as just, or like have a small conversation on the side quickly. I don't see that as disrespectful because I'm speaking directly to him. It's like I was speaking English to you right at one moment, and I turn and speak English and say something. I understand if you're saying they're trying to disrespect you in some way, like they're trying to like throw a curveball and talk side eye to you. I can understand that. But like even in Spanish,
Well, that's
yeah,
why
yeah.
it's it depends on the context of the
Yeah.
situation. Like I had,
but even within that, like for example, like if I'm for example, I used to go to DR a lot for business, right? If I'm talking to a dude on the street, right, and then I walk into an office building and I'm in a meeting, literally it'd be minutes before I could switch the manner of I speak Spanish, because even the accent changes, because I'm not going to talk a street kind of way to somebody who I'm talking to, like, you know, trying to get a loan for or something like that. It's just natural. Or even an older person, there's a certain amount of respect. Like, you know, you call Don, you to talk to them a certain way. It feels weird, like, you know what I mean? But it comes naturally after time. Like I was saying, Steph, like I understand, Steph, they're coming at you trying to side conversation. That's fucked up. And good people do that. I agree with you. But like when I know in my experience, most part, I don't do that. Like I don't try not to do that. That's kind of fucked up anyway. But I'm sorry, I cut you off.
I don't like those circumstances. Like I had a situation where, you know, I was greeting a woman and her daughter, and you know, I was just being kind, and I was, you know, practicing my customer service and just being like the person that I am. I'm naturally a nice person, so I was just being very hospitable with them. And then the mother says in Spanish to her daughter, she says, hablando mucho. And I'm like, the fuck? Like I immediately went off. I was like,
what did he say? I'm sorry, what they said?
The mother said, hablando mucho. And I'm like, the fuck?
Talking a lot?
Yeah.
Were you talking a lot?
But I was, you know, I was doing my job. I was being hospitable. I was showing customer service, and just like, you know, when you're in a certain position, especially when you're out in the front, you know, a person's experience with, I work for TSA. So a person's experience it starts with, you know, the TDC area, the ticket checking area.
Yeah.
So I was trying to make the situation as pleasant as possible. And then a mother comes out and says, hablando mucho. For those that don't know, that means, yeah, she's talking a lot. And I'm just like, so I looked her dead in her eye and I was like, yo, you better watch it. I just like completely switched on her because I was like, wow, like that was disrespectful. Like that. And then the daughter was like, oh, nah, she didn't mean it. I was like, I knew exactly what she
meant that shit. I'm not, don't even try that
every
shit,
word.
Dude. Fuck out of here.
And her daughter,
like, yo,
they got caught. And I'm like, I don't do that. Don't do that.
Yo, listen, if the mother and daughter, if they watch this shit, I'm letting you know, because we love stuff over here. Like, yo, watch.
I'm talking to you, lady.
Watch your fucking mouth. We know what the fuck you was saying. Hablando mucho my ass, nigga. Fuck out of here. We know what you're talking about.
Hablando. All right. First of all, listen, is it a Bronx? Is it the Bronx? Like the code switching coming right now?
Yeah, all that. BX in the building. Fuck all that. Like, yo, let me tell you something.
What you just pronounced sound like you.
Up, nigga.
No, what you pronounced sound like you was trying to order at the nearest Starbucks or something. Can I get a hablando mucho? Like you trying to get a big.
Yeah, now let me tell you something. The only Spanish, I kid you not, the only Spanish sentence I know, like that I can say like flawlessly, is "Me gusta arroz con pollo." That's it.
So you
"Me gusta arroz con pollo." That's it.
Wow, and you know that do not help because you just said you like some chicken and rice. That do not help.
That's it. "Me gusta arroz con pollo." That's it.
You just said
that's it.
Bro, you want to? Never mind. I'm not.
No, I'm learning. Now, forget y'all, man. I'm learning. Leave me alone. I mean, you got to start off with chicken and rice to learn some shit. Like, yo, come on.
It's true. You got to start with the food because everybody talks through their stomachs. It's true. I'll give you that.
Yeah, that's a fact. Ramos know what it is, man. Like, yo, man, you know what I'm saying? But seriously though, like if the mother and daughter watch this, fuck y'all. Like, yo,
I doubt they're watching.
Nah, because you know they can probably turn on Instagram some shit and watch it and be like, oh yeah, that's the girl, hablando mucho shit, hablando mucho my ass, nigga. Like, watch your mouth. Like that's Steph. You don't
bing bong, bing bong,
bing bong. Like that's Steph. Like, yo, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Like,
that's just one example.
Never disrespect me with talking hablando mucho.
Facts.
But that's
Right.
just one example of it. And it was like, yo, I was being nice to you. You didn't have to come out and do that.
Yeah, I see that, but that people in general in all walks of life can disrespect you equally. Like, you know, if you did to speak your language or not. Like, they could literally walk away and say, "Oh, she talks too much." Literally a second after they left. I understand your point, but you see my point. Like, in terms of like people are going to be assholes regardless of the language they speak or where their social status or whatever have you.
But for you to be comfortable, to be that comfortable to the point where you can be like, "Oh, I'm gonna speak this language in front of you," and you're not gonna understand. You know?
Have you ever had I worked with TSA before, so I'm gonna just pre-state that before I say. And I've had people literally, like I stated, literally walk away from me and start talking shit, or even to my face. But with me, it's like the thing about me, for the most part, chill. But like, you don't want to catch me, man, because like I will be reckless in my mouth, like mad reckless in your face, and people are gonna turn around like, "Oh, he disrespected me," and then go to supervisor, and supervisor's like, "I don't know what you're talking about," because they won't believe that's the way I am. Because usually I'm like, "Oh,
Right.
Yo,
that's how you."
Hold on, do not read that. Do not read that.
No, I'm reading it. I'm fucking reading it. I'm reading
what?
I'm reading it. I'm blood clot reading. Yeah, blood clot reading.
Reading what?
Chicken and Beef said, "Tell him let a nigga get some coochie mucho." Did I nail it?
Coochie mucho.
That's terrible.
That's fool. That's fool. But I was gonna say,
Oh,
Steph,
man. Lord,
Steph, in your line of work, like you have a high chance of that happening because there's so many people that come through and pass by you.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, but
It doesn't make it less okay.
Exactly. No, it's very true. No, I mean it's very true. Again, that's how you be
Kyra's
telling.
laughing. Kyra's laughing.
Reckless with the mouth. Vampires says, "Yeah, you know, like first I talk shit, and then I bite them, and train them with their blood."
Stupid.
Anyway,
Stupid.
Pause, babe. Reckless with the mouth. The vampire son.
Like there was one guy.
We pausing
he
everything,
was
bro.
talking trash in front of me in Spanish, and I said, "You know what? It'll be more insulting if you said it in English." And he got heated, and I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "What'd you say?" And I'm like, "You heard what I said, and I'm speaking to you plainly in your face. Don't try to switch languages on me."
And what?
You know?
And what? Like, yo, Steph, DC, nigga. Be Baltimore. Like, all that. Late, all that.
she don't rep Baltimore. Don't do that, man. She'll get mad.
Yeah.
No, I always say Baltimore. I always fuck it up. Like, she forgives me because I fuck it up. Like, and it's not on purpose.
I mean, the Wire's the shit, but you know, she's Maryland, DC, PG County, rep all day.
Oh, my fault. Yeah, PG County.
CGC
all day.
All day.
Prince George's, all that. Like, yo,
all day.
In the building.
The only prince that they claim is Prince, you know, from Rain, not Prince George in his name. All right.
F him in his name.
But that's what PG stand for, right? Prince George's, right? Like, I learned that from Substantial. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Made in Maryland.
All that. Yo, shout out to Substantial, by the way, too, man. Quest said, Quest got a comment here. What is it? It may not be comfortable, but some people are just more comfortable speaking languages other than English. The extra is not necessary, though. Chicken and Beef said, "I love it here." Chicken and Beef said, "I love it here." Benny said, "At Quest, my thoughts exactly." Chicken and Beef said, "Can Baltimore Club Go-Go Music if you want to see her get mad for real?" Oh, sorry. Call Baltimore Club Go-Go Music if you want to see her get mad for real. Wow. Yo,
it is. That's blasphemous.
No.
Yeah.
You know what's even worse? There was a coworker of mine before I left JFK. He called go-go music fucking pots and pans music. I was like, if I was not in this uniform, I would fuck you up right now. Like, that's how serious it is for us.
That's cold. That's cold.
Pots and pans music. I will knock your ass out with some pots and pans. Fuck out of here, man.
Yeah, rest in peace, Chuck
Man.
Brown, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't disrespect go-go music, man. Like, do you know how many samples with go-go musicals and rap songs and shit? And like just go-go music by itself, man, is totally dope. Shout out to A. Marie, because A. Marie did a
Do
lot
you know
of
how many? Do you know how
songs
many
like
hooks and lyrics were stolen by Jay-Z from go-go music? That's
Thanks.
another story. So,
Here we
but
go.
Jay-Z, you a robber.
I'm
Yo,
just
you gotta
saying,
watch it, man. He probably could own part of Instagram. Gonna shut us down.
You know what?
It's not any
Jay-Z,
less true.
yo,
It's not any
you the
less
man, Jay-Z. Let me back off, man. Like, yo, son, we want to get shut down real quick, man.
It's
Like,
not
you know
Oh
what I mean?
my goodness.
You still robbing niggas though, but like we gonna be quiet. Like, yo, Chicken and Beef said, "You mean that music where they play the pots and pans?" Yo, you ain't shit, man. Chicken and Beef. You ain't shit, my nigga.
Get the fuck out of there. That shit started in New York on the street corners. You want me to go there? You can go there.
Hey, man, you don't throw shots over here.
Relax,
Like we didn't say anything.
relax, Steph.
Relax with that.
Relax. Calm down. Like we understand you angry. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy your fries. Like, yo, calm down. Like,
He's like, don't switch the code on us. You good?
I'm doing that buffalo chicken sandwich from Shake Shack.
hey, I gotta go down to Maryland, man. I gotta go down to DC, man. Like, yo, them pictures made me jealous as fuck. I ain't gonna lie to you. But what it say? Oh, this nigga Quest just came up with a god damn it. Everybody, Chicken and Beef said, "I love A. Marie. One of these days, I'ma smang it." A. Marie, nigga, like not Anne Marie, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, Quest said, "It all depends on whether or not you relate or understand it, because I know tons of people who speak other dialect around me, not knowing I know until I respond. People are okay only when they benefit." Yeah, bars. Chicken and Beef said, "Go-go music bites everybody's lyrics, though. They cover everything, so enjoy your fries with your mambo sauce." Wow.
First of all,
Yo, what the fuck?
You got it. You got it. Speechless right now. Yeah. First of all,
get the hands.
First of all,
let me talk, because hip hop itself is bitten off of what do you call it? Big Tune from Jamaica. So hip hop itself is completely bitten off.
Steph,
Let's not talk about the first hit, which was Rapper's Delight,
Like-
which was bitten off of Sheik's Good Time. So let's get the
Hold
fuck out of here with that.
hold on, wait, yo, Steph.
Everyone's been biting everyone
Feeling
else from the beginning.
nothing more than feelings.
No, it's not feelings.
Feelings of love.
I'm only
Feeling.
speaking the truth.
Whoa,
I'm only speaking the truth.
feeling. Oh, feeling. Feelings of love. Like, yo, son, you was catching feelings. Like,
And I
yo,
got a song for you. All by myself.
right back at you. Like, yo, fuck out of here, B. Like, yo, I'm not by myself. I have friends that love me. Yo, son, let's get back to these comments real quick, man. What was it? Quest said, "Part in the typos. Mambo sauce is the truth. Hip hop was born through funk." Chicken Beef said, "LOL." Benny, she laughing her ass off right now. She said, laughing my ass off. Like, yo, son, like, listen.
Let me tell you something, Quest. Hip hop was born through Big Tune. Do the history. It started from that when they were sampling tunes in Jamaica.
I love how no, fuck that, Steph. I didn't talk nothing about. I give love to go-go music. I give love to go-go music Chicken and Beef started that shit. Do not put hip hop in the same category with go-go music and think you go because you gonna offend all of us, man. Fucking with that shit.
Yeah,
Stop,
we're definitely Quest. We're definitely gonna have a show on this. It's just we're just giving you previews of everything right now. This is all a part of still the code switching episode, but these are previews because we got to switch from different places. So there you go.
Yeah, and then feelings is switching too, B. You know what I'm saying? Like feelings is switching also from like nice to like what the fuck, B? Like, yeah, all that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Feeling nothing more than. Don't have you get the don't maybe have to get the Vegas voice on, B. Like, stop playing with me, man.
Yo, he did that shit for my birthday too. He sang Happy Birthday Frank Sinatra style.
Yeah, man. I do my thing, man. I'll be at somebody nightclub in Vegas like sometime next week. No, the fuck I won't. But hey, listen.
So we can go into regional code switching too, because all our every different region has its own, they have their own dialect, their own words, depending. I mean, that's also very interesting, especially when it comes to emotional
emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of which,
I'm all right.
God, what I didn't know, right, is I thought that when it comes to like speaking Portuguese, a way of code switching, I guess this goes to the code switching. Like, I didn't know that there was parts of Africa that they speak Portuguese, like Mozambique. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to this singer named Luki. She actually has a song. What is it? It's Faj Parte de Mim. I think that's how you say it. Yeah, Faj Parte de Mim, which I think is called A Part of Me. I think that's the translation. But it's a dope ass song. Go get it on all streaming platforms. You know what I'm saying? Yes, this is shameless plug.
I don't make vampires. I just drain them. No one could be above me. I don't like cohorts.
Whoa! Did you say I just drain them?
Whoa!
Can you stop pausing everything, God?
Yo, you really are all by yourself.
He said running back.
You're really all by yourself. That's all you think about, huh?
Right.
I swear I heard drain. Like, I was like, wait, whoa, sir. What's the drain?
Yeah,
like,
blood. Drain blood. We're talking about vampires, right?
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Emphasize draining blood, all right? Because I can get on that ass when you say drain. Pause.
Whoa. You're not getting enough of this ass.
Now we started this, bro.
No, I set myself up for that. I ain't gonna lie. I just thought about that. I set myself up for that. My fault.
That's Steph. Yes, exactly.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Look, all right. Okay, no. Look, now I know what I was going to add on to your Portuguese comment is the Greek, the Latin, because also another language that's spoken in there too is Swahili. And Swahili has a bit of Spanish, which of course it has that Latin roots in there too.
Yo, Benny, I'm not getting on nobody's ass. I'm not getting nobody's ass, man. Chill out.
Definitely not getting on this one. That's for sure. That is for fucking sure.
But you're right. Someone's blood, though.
I don't want nobody's ass. Like, fuck out of here, man. I'm good.
You said it.
I said a motherfucking thing. I don't know what the fuck you talking about.
But apparently,
I'm about to leave this chat.
Y'all are
whatever, nigga. Yeah. Like I ain't say anyway. Chicken and Beef said this nigga lyrics code switching right now. LOL speaking French and shit. Yo, Benny ain't had nothing to say. Benny said you getting on whose ass?
Oh wow.
Chicken and Beef said vampires don't need to pause. They already suck man's neck and things. Wow.
Nah, that's where you're wrong, my friend. I don't do that. Strictly females. Anyway, what's the next one?
This is going so much everywhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip these two right here because we say they androgynous.
Oh, that's androgynous. That means androgynous.
Androgynous. Yeah.
Hey, I can't help it if I'm like the yin and yang, man. You know what I mean? Like balance in both. That's not my fault. I was born this way. All right.
All right, Lady Gaga.
Well, I should have put the last part in there, but you get what I'm saying.
Anyway, what we're gonna do here, Quest said there is a big Spanish flow in Italy, Chinese in South America, Jewish in Central America. Interesting. That is really
There's a big what?
no, he said, I'll say it again. There is a big Spanish flow in Italy, Chinese in South America. What happened?
No, you're good. You're good.
Continue.
Oh,
Continue.
yeah, sorry about that. There's a big Spanish flow in Italy, Chinese in South America, Jewish in Central America. And Benny said, oh, no. Quest said, so Eric is a hermaphrodite. Wow.
Never that.
Wow.
And if I was, I'll be the most awesome one. So it doesnment matter.
You
So,
say you'd be the most handsome one? You take
awesome. Yo, you want to hear what you want to hear? What? What's going on? You want to hear what you want to? You want to hear it? Woo!
See, look at now the voice changing everything, the high pitch, all of that. Y'all getting to see a full range of stuff right now. This is Randumb Thoughtz, okay?
Okay, I thought we were talking about code switching.
I know we have, this is a part we still.
Stop it, guys.
But it's it basically code switching is very situational, and it's already been here happening. It permeates through all forms of society in the way that we think, feel, and act upon stuff. So again, we was doing all this goofy stuff because again, we went from we on the topic, but then after that, we went around just playing around with stuff. I mean, this is a grand example of that.
No, we were still very much on topic.
Exactly. It's mad goofy because again,
this is us. This is us, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is us. This is how we are, man.
And this is the point I want to get to too. Is okay. We talk about people saying, you know, I'm always me, man. I'm always authentically real, and that's just who I am all the time. So my question to that is literally, okay, when you code switching, are you actually still you, or are you only giving a percentage or a part of you when you're doing that? So how can you say
I think it's the personas, like I was talking about before, the different personas, everybody, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're multifaceted in the way we behave. Like, you know what I mean? So it could be part of us, but if I forgot saying, there are people who fake shit. You know, it's like, you know, people who you could tell they're fake. You fake as fuck, man. That's not you at all. That's not even an aspect of you.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Steph, lyrics, y'all got anything?
Yeah, well, I mean, to add to what Famous Ramos said, he's right to an extent, because then there's that motherfucker you think is fake.
Yeah.
Until he actually does some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he say, yo, I'm gonna smack the shit out of somebody, but then you know him to be, you know, a soft, like a herb, like he real soft. But
that's an aspect that we hold, because we hold all those things within us. You know what I mean? I could be the most passive person and then be like the most aggressive person. That's like kind of like behavior that we all hold. But I'm talking about in terms of behavior to other people, like where it's like, yo, that's not really you. Like, you know what I mean? Like at all. Like I know you pretty well, but those are like behaviors different from like I'm talking about like the angry and the sad, whatever thing. Those are like aspects of us. We all hold them. But if you're talking to somebody where you know the person is like, yo, this person is not like this at all, but they're using it to their advantage. And I guess it's, who can we judge, right? Because they're using it to their advantage, right? In a way, you answer my question. Yeah, I mean, we're all opportunistic to a certain degree, right? Like if we're doing business, like we're gonna talk in the way that the person that's receiving is gonna receive it. We're not gonna talk with yo son, like it doesn't make any sense, because then they're gonna put a wall up, and then we're not gonna get what we need out of the situation.
Right.
I mean, but you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like code switching, like the feeling of it. You know, I'll be honest with you. At first, when I started myself personally, I kind of felt like I wasn't authentic. I wasn't myself. I always had to hide behind this facade for other people. And the older I got, the less I become that person, because, like in some weird way, I've grown into the code switching, meaning that I've grown into that person that I had to be in order to get what I needed. Like you were just saying.
Now my question to you is though, do you feel that the code switches that you do, that they don't even have a bit of you, like not you at all. Like,
Not
you know what I mean?
Not one single solitary bit. Not not back in the day. It was totally.
But
It was
currently,
totally
I'm talking about
opposite.
currently. I'm talking about currently.
Currently, I've grown into it. That's what I'm saying. Like back, like as time progresses, time went, I've grown into the code switching. So now, yeah, because it attached to me, it grew onto me. If you understand what I'm saying. But back then,
because you adapted to your environment.
Yeah, when I first had to do it, you know, it was like, and it's not like I came from like even though I came from a rough upbringing, it wasn't like completely rough. I did have my father to sit there and teach me certain things and teach me how to speak to people or whatever have you. It's just that my natural characteristic thought otherwise. You know what I'm saying? Like my natural characteristic wasn't that. You know, I had to grow into it because for survival reasons. You know, for getting the job. You know, or for getting a business deal, I had to be somebody that I wasn't, and inside, like I felt like my soul was crushed. Like, yo, like damn, so like they can't accept me for this person, but then I gotta switch to this person. That's why I'll be honest with you. That's why I'm kind of like that's why I wild out now. You know what I'm saying? Even at my age, because I guess it's like I'm rebelling against all the shit that I had to force myself to be, if like psychologically, you know what I'm saying? If you guys understand what I'm saying, you know, like I don't like this, like naturally, and I try to explain to my father, but he never really understood. He never really understood. Like even certain family members, they never understood. Like I'm not the person you think I am. I'm not this nigga. Like yo, I'm this. Like right now, who y'all seeing right now? On Randumb Thoughtz, this is me. This is me. Steph knows the real me because she's been around me. Eric knows the real me to a fault because he's been around me. Ed, you know the real me because we have phone conversations and you know what is it, Google Duo conversations. I am not a sane person. Like you know what I'm saying? Like,
but you said you're not a what?
Sane. I'm not sane.
Sane.
Like yo.
So basically, he's saying sane. Yeah. I'm not. I don't think like normal human being. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I openly admit that. But
the thing is, nobody acts. There's no normalcy. I think there's a problem with normalcy because nobody's normal. Like, you know, I've had situations with people that you're weird. I'm like, explain to me how I'm weird. I don't know. You're just weird. I'm like, then if you can't pinpoint what you think is normalcy, there is no normalcy. Everybody is who they are, and they all bring different aspects. Just because they don't fit in your box doesn't mean it's not normal.
Are y'all saying normalcy?
He said
normalcy.
It's normalcy.
Normalcy, whatever. I'm from Brooklyn. I talk like this. Don't make me code switch.
Oh, see now we over here SAT dictionary word professionals.
Can I say something else about language?
Yes.
In regards to just English itself. It's always a bit unnerving to me when, you know, our tribe is like, oh, you speaking white. Oh, why are you speaking white? That's English is not a white language. Can we go back to that? Like,
wait.
We don't talk about that enough.
Explain.
English has its roots in North Africa because it's a phonetic language. It came from North Africa where there was trading and, you know, exchange involved, and that's how English came to be. It came out of that language, that alphabet, so on and so forth. But I digress. But I'm just saying I think we as a people need to take back ownership of that language and not weaponize it. That's all I'm saying.
I think guy dropped out.
No, he just turned off the camera. He turned off his camera. He's gonna go switch his hat and everything and go to.
He's in the code. He's in a visually code switch.
Yes. Fuck y'all. I ain't switching shit. Fuck I am.
But
now we know what he's switching.
I just think that's a part of history that we don't talk about enough.
I really mean everything that stuff.
I'm not aware of that, but I think everything comes from somewhere. I mean, what's going on there?
I love Kyra, man. Kyra, I love you, man.
It's Kara, man. It's Kara. You just
Same thing.
You put your name.
aren't you?
Anyway.
I fuck everybody. Hold on a second. Hold on. Fuck this shit. Hold on. Yo, listen. I fuck everybody's name up. I fuck people's name up. Kyra, I'm sorry for fucking your name up, all right?
You're still
really
fucking up. You're still fucking it up.
It's Kira?
Still fucking it up.
It's Kira, right? Kira, okay. Kira, I'm sorry for fucking your name up. Sometimes I do it on purpose because I just don't, you know what I'm saying? But like I told you, I'm not there. But like, I gotta blame it on something. All right, my fault. I was code switching. Just 1 second. We gonna blame it on code switching. That's it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Proceed. Sorry about that, guys.
No, chicken and beer. No, we're not gonna gloss over. We're not gonna gloss over Ramos's point about normal, because I honestly talk about that so much myself, and I've gotten to see like great examples of that, even from kids, even challenging what does normal mean. And most of the time, the reason why we have a such thing as what we think normal is, or the normalcy, or again, whatever normalcy, whatever you want to say, how you want to say the word, it's due to the norms that's set in society. Again, we're conforming, which I think that's another thing too with code switching. What happens is you start to conform. And once you feel that you, again, a lot of this stuff, a lot of these issues that we're going to bring up to Randumb Thoughtz, wherever it ends up happening, it's going to have a component of connection. Literally, that's what we do as humans. We want to connect. We want to be involved with each other. So a lot of that stuff is going to happen. So the only way for something to be a norm within society is that literally it's set by people think like, okay, we think, yeah, it's normal that, you know, folks go outside and that they wear shoes and, you know, they have hats and other things on. That's a part of the norm within the society versus suits, no shoes, no hat, no something like that, no service. That means you can't come in, you can't have
European countries. There's European countries where they won't wear shoes. Like, I think I was looking at, like, it was a Norwegian country. A dude was walking in the supermarket, like, no shoes, outside. So, like, even within the society, if we talk about the whole world society, there are differences. So we can even say that, they want shoes here, shoes not there. Shirt there, shirt not there. You know?
I'll take it even further. I know there's some European countries where they fuck outside in public butt ass naked. Okay? As opposed to us in America, where you might pull a titty out or something. But in there, they ass naked. Like, I know it's a fucked up analogy, but you know what I'm saying?
That's where your mind is at.
Because lyrics different.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Lyrics is different.
Yes. And I openly admit
these lyrics are different. Put that on the shirt again.
But I mean, but if I wasn't different, would I be me? Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, you're right.
You would be
right.
normal. You would be normal.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Be you, do you.
And that's the face you should make on that shirt. That's the exact face you should make on that shirt.
Oh my goodness, there it is. Like, there it is. We more and more content for y'all, man. That's just funny, man. That is hilarious.
I hope we're writing this down.
But yeah.
Wait, hold on. Chicken and Beef said there are some European countries where they don't shower. Like, and that's the truth too. Like, there's some countries where they don't wash their ass for days. Like, you know what I'm saying? Chicken and Beef, you done started some shit because you know I'm going to say something about that shit. We're going to have an episode. We're going to have 2 episodes about that shit. No. Hold on a second. Just give me a second. We're going to have 2 episodes of that shit for men and for women, yo. There's some funky motherfuckers still out here in the world, man. We got to let you know you going to wash your ass, man. Stop playing with me, man. We give me ass washing tutorials and all that.
Can I defend folks for a second?
The French people you talking about?
Just because you don't shower doesn't mean you don't bathe. I'm just they
don't do none of that shit, B.
There's
none of that.
A component of hygiene happening. Just because you don't shower.
I think part of it has to do with I think what Chicken and Beef is talking about is that European countries, some of them, like back in the day, water was a scarcity, right? So now we have water is more, abundant, but they still in that mindset, we're not going to be taking showers every day. I'm not down with that. I like taking a shower daily, but I live in a different country, different norms. You know what I mean? So I have water here, and that's from the culture I brought it. What's up?
Hey, yo, Abby,
Wipe their hands?
I'm sorry.
Their hands?
There are some European countries where they wipe their ass with their bare hands.
I don't know.
I'm not sure about that. I'm not aware of that, but could be. Could happen, I guess.
Man, like, yo, I'm loving these comments right there, chicken and beef, man. Yo, keep coming, keep coming with it, man.
I'm not sure about that.
Jenny,
yeah, me neither. I think research needs to be done. Research.
Nobody needed that visual. All right, so let's continue. Nobody needed that visual. Okay.
I mean, no, it already fucked up my day. With as soon as he said that shit, that kind of fucked up my shit, man. I was like, fuck it.
Tiffany said, I can't.
Tiffany, I can't neither. I can't understand.
Exactly. Right.
I can't understand why the fuck they can't get no motherfucking toilet paper from the motherfucking store. I know you got toilet paper.
It was not a thing before. Okay, that's honestly, that's not even
no, so
regularly happened. It don't matter. You was wiping with what, tree leaves and branches and what, Hogan Brother stuff. Like, yo.
I mean, that's better than wiping your ass barehanded. Like, fuck out of here. So, like, yo, you wildin'.
Or, like in certain places like Africa and China and certain areas like that, they do their thing in the hole, with a hole in the floor, a hole in the ground rather. But
so they take a shit in the hole in the ground.
That's what it used to be, like back in the day. Like the latrine was a hole in the ground. Like you go back in the days, like everywhere.
They still do that.
Some places, yeah.
So let me get this straight, right?
But they're sitting ergonomically correctly, so everything's coming out.
So
they don't have to do as much, maintenance back there.
So let me get this straight. They don't have no plumbing system in their shit. So there's in the whole. Oh, okay. All right. I'm still learning about the world, guys. Like, yo, I'm just like. I guess I've been like completely Americanized to the point where I think everywhere has a plumbing system. And I remember I heard from specific person that when they went to France or whatever, that they had bidets and it was hard to find toilet paper. So like after they took a shit,
I don't know about that.
you got the water spritzing in your ass and shit and whatever. The bidets. You don't talk about the bidets.
Yeah.
Yeah. The water comes up your ass.
Yeah,
basically. That's basically what it is. You what? Basically.
Hey, you just code switched the lyrics right now with that response real quick.
I love it. Hey, chicken, I'm done with you. I'm done with you.
What the fuck? Like, yo, that was that right there. That was the saying of the week. That was the random saying of the week. Like, yo, son, like you just got water shot up your ass. Huh? Okay, cool. Fuck it. Like, yo, I prefer water better for you. Benny, what? What, Benny? Like, I prefer water better for you. Better for who?
He prefers the bidet over the toilet paper.
I think what it is, certain countries they have is like Japan is bidet very much a big thing. France very much a big thing. I think a lot of Asian countries as well. So they're used to it. We're not used to. We're just getting it now. Like we have like attachments now that you can buy, right on Amazon or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not part of our culture.
Let me tell you something. All right. Let me tell you something. Yo, it's popcorn good in the motherfucker. Let me tell you something. All right. If you want water to touch your ass, you ain't got to get a bidet. There's a little thing here. It's called a shower stall or a bathtub. You're
gonna get up in the middle of a squat and then shower your. You know what? Can we continue from this conversation?
There's so much wrong with where this is about to end up going.
Oh no! This is the visual of this, man. Alone.
We're not doing number 2 in the shower. We're not doing.
No, I'm not saying doing a shit in the shower. But I mean, but after you take a shit on the toilet and you try to wipe your ass, you go in the shower, you take a shower, my nigga. That's what the soap and the fucking rag and the wash rags there for with the water. Like, stop playing with me. Y'all be playing with me on this bullshit. Anyway, let's go.
He just revealed his process. You revealed your process. All right, let's move on.
We're gonna take lyrics on the international script because he needs
Yeah.
it. He needs
Yeah. I mean, and the words now of lyrics, it it depends on the circumstances which thereof, y'all. So we're gonna leave that at that point where it is there, okay? And from his
I agree.
point as
Funny guy
well
over
too, that code switching can be shit sometimes. It can turn into that, especially if it's not used again for your comfort, okay? Wash your bubble. Yeah, no, yeah.
No. I was
Yeah.
reading. Hey, yo, no. I gotta read this shit by Ben Starr, man. By Benny. Yo, Benny said India has that too. You want to clean pool off your shoes with water or paper? Then why use paper for your ass? Okay.
Good point.
All right. Well, why all y'all lickty? What lickty? What the fuck? Tiffany, what do you
Like
say?
this.
She was saying, why are
Like
you like
this.
this? Why are you like this?
Oh, why am I? Because I probably got dropped on my head as a child. I don't know, like as a baby or some shit. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that shit out. Like anyway, like what is it? Chicken and Beef said, wash your.
That
wash your dusty with a bidet. Not because you got like fucking big letters and small letters and shit. Like wash your badussy with a bidet. Wow. Why y'all like this? LOL. Tiffany. Chicken and Beef said, wash your badussy with a bidet. I write commercials. Hire me.
Man, the FCC would shut that shit down so quickly.
Benny said I'm getting you a bidet for your birthday. All right. Well, I mean, listen. Thank you. Appreciate it.
He's gonna love it. He's gonna love it. Do it, Benny. We'll chip
He's gonna be in the bathroom all day. He's like, oh, I can't get enough of this.
All right, see, now we taking it to a whole nother.
He's gonna be doing live streams from the toilet.
You know what?
Dang.
I agree with Abiz as he said, let's skip this shit because it's going somewhere.
We were trying to. You kept going to it.
That was so much on you.
Took it there, my bro.
You know what? I take full responsibility for that shit. It was on me. But let's fuck that.
So we're not gonna let the fuckery commence.
No, we're still gonna let the fuckery commence, but not that fuckery.
Look, a last point that I also wanted to add into the code switching setup too is when I was thinking about code switching. I don't know if this came up with Steph when we was thinking of code switching, but one of the concepts that came in my head was a concept by W.E. Du Bois and about the double consciousness.
Yep.
And if y'all don't know what the double consciousness is, it's basically that it's an internal conflict. It's almost like some people want to say cognitive dissonance, but in this particular case, for us, how we were talking about in a racial aspect, it's how folks literally can be seen. They're seen one way, but ultimately inside they're another way. So for African Americans, Black, however you want to end up calling it, the whole idea of double consciousness is you're both supposed to be seen as American, but the way that you're treated within America is completely different than what is stated. So from W.E. Du Bois, his whole setup about the double consciousness is that there's that whole psychological play that goes there. And getting into code switching, it has that psychological play there too. Is for you to be there accepted in whatever you're doing, and whatever you have to get through is okay. On this one side, I have to be and act like this, but inside, if I were to really act like who I am, I'll get people would either be upset, to be shunned, pushed away, etc., etc., etc. But I just wanted to make that point. So if y'all don't know what the double consciousness stuff is, just look up W.E. Du Bois, and you'll look into more of what the double consciousness really is.
More specifically, look into the book, The
Soul of Black Folk. Yeah,
that's the book. There's an Indian component to it too. I read that book is based on the soul of Black folks. It's called The Karma of Brown Folks. That's another good book to read. And they make connections to, Du Bois' work and how it plays in Indian culture.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's a dope book. It's a really dope book.
Guys, I'm sorry, but Like we're kind of running out of time right now, so we're gonna have to end this with the final thoughts. Famous Ramos, what's your final thoughts about code switching, my man?
Same thing I had coming into it. I mean, it can be seen as a necessity, depending. I mean, not necessity, but like, we're at a point where like there are certain aspects that we need to be that way, or not need to be. We put ourselves in that place. Not to get out of it. I don't know if it's a necessity, but if you're faking it, if this is not an aspect of you, then it makes no sense. Like to behave that way. Like if it's not you at all, like then what's the point?
Yeah,
that's a fact. And yo, Steph, final thoughts?
I mean, we only touched the surface of code switching as a subject. There's just so many aspects to it. You know, the way it's used to, you know, advance people, and then, you know, the way it's also weaponized, you know, on a racial standpoint. Like what comes to mind is like, I think of like Donald Trump, and when he used to code switch and do this all the time. Like
for the boys.
Look at my African American over there.
Right, exactly. he was like the king of code switching, you know, during his presidency. You would just catch little things here and there, and you know, that's we never really talked about how dangerous code switching can be in that aspect, how it plays out. But I think finding, I don't know if we'll ever get to a point in this society where like finding that middle ground, or finding or like accepting different dialects and different languages are going to be like accepted fully, and seen as, because some dialects are seen as lower than others. So I don't know if we'll ever get there as a country where it's like we can understand on a level and have respect for those dialects. But I don't know. I more to come. I don't really have a final thought on this.
Well, no, that was your final thought, and we thank you and appreciate that, because we're definitely gonna have more on this code switching shit. Like I'll tell you how I feel after ad. Yo, add this. Your final thoughts, man.
Final thoughts with code switching. Very similar to both Steph and Eric. The whole setup, I would say, with code switching, ultimately know how you're going to end up using it, and really what its purpose is and where it came from. Once you know how what part it plays within society, then you're able to move accordingly. The whole aspect too of, you know, can you truly be yourself 100% in terms of still putting on, you can say, a quote unquote facade through code switching? To a certain extent, yes, but that part is where you start to either learn from your environment and then learn how to embrace it, because there's ways that you can move and still be yourself, basically, and hold yourself with some of your core values and what you believe in, what you stand for. But ultimately, code switching, again, like a lot of things, it can be either used to your benefit or to your demise.
Well, guys, my final thoughts on it is I agree with all three of y'all. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna keep it simple.
Do part 2.
No, we're going to do a part 2. Just not no time soon.
Let's just write it down, though.
Not come on, man. You know I'm gonna write it down. Like, stop playing. Yeah, you will be starting some shit anyway. Listen, my final thoughts on code switching is continue to be yourself, guys. You know, but know when to turn it on, know when to turn it off, because, like I said, you know, there are some primary examples, such as myself, where you grow into the code switch. You know, and you lose parts of who you truly are somewhere down the line. You know what I'm saying? Because you've grown into the code switch. You know, you've grown into that facade that you had to create in order to, you know, maintain, you know, your job or to get into a better position. you know, but somewhere along the line, you know, you gotta keep you have to keep you know what I'm saying, parts of you. Like I remember my homegirl Mahogany Jones, yo, shout out to her. She always told me, and I'll never forget this, she was like, don't gain the world and lose your soul. Yo, I mean, she yeah. Well, I mean, no, she's Christian or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, shout out to Mahogany Jones, her family and all that. Yeah. Like, I didn't know. I just thought it was something that she said, but okay. Yeah. Like, that's how much into the Bible I need to get up on. But anyway, getting to the point, she meant it in a different way, but I'm in here for code switching, like, you know, because there's a lot of people that get lost into opportunities. You know, let's say, you know, you got a deal for like $5 million or whatever have you, and you have a meeting for this deal. You know good and damn well you can't jump up in that deal like, yo, what's good, my nigga? Nah, okay, ain't nobody gonna take you seriously. You know, there's a certain way that you have to act. You know, and you know, just don't get caught up too much into the person that you have to play in order to obtain that deal. If that makes any sense. Keep parts of you. Keep parts of who the real you are. I mean, the real who you actually are. Sorry, I think I was right the first time, but fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, so
like,
you're basically saying find that middle ground.
Exactly. You have, and it is well, yeah. Find a sweet spot. You miss sweet spots over here. Just maintain being you somewhere in the middle of all this. You know, don't lose yourself, please, because it gets depressing after a while. That's why you see some of these millionaire motherfuckers and shit. Like some of these guys. Hey, Kimberly, what's going on? You see some of these dudes be committing suicide and all this other type of shit. They be having mental health issues and shit because they get caught up in the code switching. Code switching is much more. As I'm learning this, and I'm starting to connect the dots here with code switching, because at first I didn't really know what it was, and I had to do my research and talk to people about it. And I see that code switching does have something to do with mental health.
Yeah.
The two does connect. I know, but I didn't know.
You're becoming a person that you're not, and that's what it is. You're not only taking on that societal language or that cultural language. You're taking on a personality that is not of your own.
Yeah, that you have to create just to get by, you know. And shout out to the Fugees, because they made a song called "The Mask" on their Score album. Mm-hmm. And yo, dog, listen to that song because it's definitely talking about code switching too. Like, if you really read between the lines, you know, like that song. But yeah, like I said, just thinking about this right now has me on a whole different. We will definitely do a part 2 on this shit because this was really, yo, Admin, Steph, thank you very much for this topic of discussion. I gotta give y'all credit for it because I didn't know what the fuck y'all was talking about. But I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna ride with y'all on this. On the next episode of Randumb Thoughtz, which will be hosted by Stephanie Gale.
Really?
Yes, Stephanie motherfucking Gale. Yes, because I ain't gonna host this bitch. Like, yo, I'm gonna fall back because guess what it is? Guess what it is? It is episode 2-10, an episode about religion.
Oh yes, I'm all over that.
Religion. Guys, I'm gonna say this shit again. It is on the next Dragon Ball Z. Okay?
That's what
not really, but on the next episode of Randumb Thoughtz, episode 2-10. Yeah, all hell, Tiffany.
Yeah, because people are going there. Some people are going to be.
I'm about to be Super Saiyan Goku in this bitch. Just know.
Listen, I'm going to let y'all know. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend and tell they black asses again. This is an episode you will not want to miss. I am dead fucking serious. Oh shit is right. We are going to cross the line. We are going to cross the line. Tell all the people, tell all your churchgoers as they come from church on Sunday.
It is Sunday too.
Whoa. It's the Lord's Day.
letting
No.
know.
Tell them to bring their asses on this IG shit. IG, Twitch, Facebook. We still gotta work that shit out. But I think we might. And YouTube, especially YouTube. Go follow the Ranters Union or Randumb Thoughtz talk series. I'm promoting this bitch every day on all the platforms we got on this bitch. I'm letting you know this is going to be the line crosser episode. Like,
Yes.
yo, but this right here is
stepping like a motherfucker in this next episode. I'm just letting
this
you know
episode was a love tap compared. Every episode we did up to this point was a love tap compared to next week episode. I'm letting you motherfuckers know now. Okay,
Eric and I will be tag teaming like a motherfucker.
on that ass.
Each other in.
Pause.
In and out. Pause.
No, Advis. Pause. I'm pausing that bit. I'm pause. All that.
I want to tell my family members in advance, I love you guys. I love you all. This is going to further, I don't know how our relationships are going to be after this episode.
You can't code switch on this one.
No, I can't.
Yeah, ain't no code switch now. And guess what? Guess what Lyrics is going to do? Lyrics, you see this bottle of water right here? This episode of Randumb Thoughtz was not brought to you in part today by this shit right here, this water brand right here, and this popcorn right here. Was popcorn. I'm going to have my popcorn, I'm going to have my water, and this is going to be an ass-kicking episode. That's all I got to say for you motherfuckers right there. I'm going to say it one more time on the next episode of Randumb Thoughtz. Episode 2-10. An episode about religion hosted by Stephanie Gale, because my black ass is just going to sit back and I'm watching the fireworks. I mean, I might be a part of a little crack or two. You know what I'm saying? Just a little crack. You know what I mean? Not the M80. You know what I'm saying? Just the little what's that firecracker? That's it. Yo, Stephanie bringing the M80s, the loud shit. Shit's going to pop the fuck off. I'm telling you. Get that money, y'all. Yeah, we gonna get that money. We gonna talk about religion. We gonna line cross like a motherfucker. I just need to let you know.
I'm gonna need you all tithes next week. So hold on to your tithes. Don't give it to your church. Give it to us.
Yes, Tiffany.
All right, Creflo.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. You know what? Tell Creflo bring his black ass in here too. You know what I'm saying? All the motherfuckers, man. Like
I like Creflo's ass up too. Him, TD Jakes, all of them. I will like all of their ass.
None of y'all are exempt. Well,
Jimmy Swaggart, he can bring his ass in too.
Well,
that's all I'm gonna say.
Well,
there may be some speaking in tongues coming up.
Well,
some speaking in tongues, some falling on the ground, some convulsing.
Amen. That's it. We gonna do it to y'all asses on the next week's episode. So you know what? For Famous Ramos, Stephanie Gill, the homeboy Adams, this is your boy LYR to the ICS Lyrics. We are out of here. I'm doing the promotion in 5 minutes. I'm telling you that y'all niggas think I'm bullshitting. I'm telling you, we gonna do this. We gonna do. Watch. Next week's episode 2-10.
The Holy Road.
Episode about religion. The line crossing episode hosted by Stephanie Gale. Because I'm telling you, motherfuckers, we gonna get into it. Ain't Jimmy Swaggart dead?
Jimmy
Swaggart
is very much alive. He actually has a channel on cable. I forgot what it's called. It's like Bright Light Channel or something like that. My mother watches it. He is very much alive, along with his children, his entire family.
And you know what?
Performing every single day.
Mom's you're gonna contact him and tell him to bring his ass up in here too. You know what I'm saying? We want all these motherfuckers to come up in here. All these religious cats, everybody, we want arguments. We want the smoke. All right?
And
we want the bumperized smoke.
I want y'all to prove me wrong because I know Bible verses and I know how to break them down. So I want y'all to prove me wrong. I want you to see where I'm wrong. Point out the lie next week. I'm wrong. point out the lie. That's all I have.
That's it. That's it. And you know what? I'm gonna end this with a Bible verse too. Thou shalt bring thine black asses to this show next week. That's it.
Yeah, that's from the book of lyrics because he different.
Yeah,
All right.
That's a lost book.
Woo!
But guess what, Ramos? They gonna find that bitch next week. They gonna find it next week.
That one was taken out of the King James version, right? Yeah.
The King Raymond version.
There.
Wait, hold on. Yo, Kira,
She said,
Kira said, Kira said nigga-lations. Yo, Kira, you know me so well. I didn't like we haven't even formed together. You know me so well. Nigga-lations. You motherfucking right. Nigga-lations. Mm-hmm. You gonna run that bitch into the ground next week. Fuck it. And I hope, and I'm telling you, tell your peoples. Tell your people his different.
Bro, look, in this dang episode before we go on for another 20 minutes of how the next episode gonna be fire. All right.
Just start the new episode.
All right.
See you later. Get home safe, Steph.
Yes.
I will.
Get home safe.
I'll call y'all later.
I bet.
Warning. The opinions expressed in this program are those of the presenter in their current state of mind, which they have the right to change at any given moment. The iRant Network and the members of the Ranters Union are not responsible for any claims made. All opinions and train of thoughts are welcomed here and protected by the First Amendment and the Ranters Union. All commentary, criticism, news reporting, research, teaching, and or scholarship of copyrighted material is protected by the Fair Use Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. iRant Network and the founder of the Ranters Union, Jalogic, aka Mr. M, recommends that you take what is said and do your own research. Read a goddamn book and form your own opinion. Furthermore, listen carefully to the ranters rant and debate their opinions and form your own conclusion. Thank you for watching this member-supported program, powered by the Ranters Union and produced for the iRant Network. Good day.